Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Frank Warren yesterday said that 50,000 tickets have been sold for the Derek Chisora Tyson Fury 3 fight, which is taking place at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I was thinking in a previous video I did, is this at Wembley Stadium? It can't be, surely. Of course it isn't. No, it's at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has a capacity of 62,000, 62,500, something like that. So Warren is saying 50,000 tickets have been sold, and it may be true, But let's go back a few years to when Warren was slagging Eddie Hearn off and Matchroom, quite rightly in my opinion, because of their association with StubHub and the entire buying of blocks of tickets and, you know, putting them on the secondary market for inflated prices. Well, it doesn't take a lot of digging, not in the modern age, not with Google and websites and so on and so forth, to do a little bit of digging. And I looked at Ticketmaster's site about the price of the tickets, and they vary from, if you're sitting up in the gods way back, I mean, where you need a pair of binoculars to see these two little ants in the middle of the ring, £64 and some shrapnel, right up to 2,420 or something like that. If you want to sit absolutely ringside, you're almost in the ring. Okay, so those are the standard prices. But then I went over to StubHub, and the £64 tickets are on StubHub for something like £110, £112. And the ringside seats, the £2,420 ones, are something like £6 grand, £6.5 grand. Now, I thought, well, all right, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is just one or two people who've bought a ticket and are flogging it to make a few quid. But it isn't, because if you look on StubHub, there are blocks of tickets that have clearly been bought and stuck on the secondary market at massively inflated prices. I'm going to leave aside the fact that I'm astounded so many people are buying these tickets at any price. But the idea that Warren, years ago, who was so, shoulder rolling and becoming beetroot faced over Matchroom and StubHub, the idea that he is promoting a fight now where such a large amount of tickets have gone onto the secondary market at colossally inflated prices. What's that word I'm looking for? Oh yes, hypocrite. Hypocrite. Okay. Frank Warren, that's what you are. If you're not speaking out against this with the same fervour and the same vigour that you did with Hearn, and I'm no fan of Hearn, don't get me wrong. I mean, recent events with the whole Conor Benn thing have left Eddie Hearn's reputation with a lot of shade on it, to put it mildly. But don't you try and claim any moral high ground, Warren, when you're doing that. You're doing what you are with this appalling fight, which you're desperately trying to justify by saying, well, no one else was available. I mean, how stupid do you think some of us are stupid, but how stupid do you think all of us are? What's the old saying? You can fool some of the people all of the time, most of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. You're a hypocrite. If this was Eddie Hearn doing this, you would be on your high horse, feigning outrage, giving it your best Academy Awards speech about how appalling this is to treat the fans in this way. And yet you put this garbage fight on at huge prices anyway. If you buy a ticket for, the VIP ringside, almost in the ring ticket on Ticketmaster, it's close to £2.5 grand. If you're sitting up in the gods, you can barely see anything. It's 64 quid. There's a cost of living crisis on, and you're sticking these prices as standard prices. And then, mysteriously, blocks of tickets appear on the secondary market. The secondary market that you slagged off. Actually, you're right about that. The secondary market does stink. It's industrialised touting is what it is. And yes, I know people don't have to buy the tickets. Well, you know what? That's true. There are some stupid people out there who just don't know where to draw a line in the sand. But at the same time, this is, whichever way you slice and dice it, whichever way you try and spin it, this is a fleecing of the public. You don't have to buy the tickets. True. It's kind of like when people say, Well, if you don't like your job, you can leave. Yeah. And you can starve on the street. Yeah. Because that shit job is the only one that's available to you. But yeah, you know, you got a choice, haven't you? You can starve on the street. You can eat out of garbage cans. No. I don't buy it. I don't buy this whole... I mean, if ever there was an example, another example of that promoters are not your friends, that promoters are only interested in themselves, their businesses, and possibly, maybe occasionally as an afterthought, their clients, the fighters. This is it. This is a good example of it. If you don't believe me about the ticket prices, go and have a look. Go to StubHub, go to Ticketmaster. Yes, it's always existed, but Warren was the one leading the cavalry charge 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever it was. Oh, the secondary market's appalling. The government should come down on it. Yeah. Well, you're just as bad. And we of course, no one's going to be surprised. No one with half a brain is going to be surprised that you're just as bad. You've always been just as bad. Okay? So anyway, my thoughts, my little rant for the day. Take care of yourselves. Subscribe if you're new. Much love to you. We'll speak again. Me, I'll be watching Fury versus CHISORA III. But guess what? I won't be paying $2.5 grand to do it.